Hey seniors, today we're going to continue with solving equations, and today we're going to be working with multi-step equations. So let's go ahead and jump in. On your notes page, go ahead and draw your line and go ahead and write multi-step equations in the top left-hand corner. Don't worry about all this yet, I'll tell you what to write. The first thing that we need to keep in mind when we're solving equations is that we are always trying to isolate our variable. That is always the goal. Today we're going to learn another tool in order to isolate our variable, and that's called the distributive property. I want you to write distributive property on your paper and then copy down the definition. And the distributive property essentially means to multiply everything in the parentheses by the outside number. It just essentially means to share the love and to multiply. So let's do an example. 4, and then we have x plus 2 inside our parentheses. 4 is my outside number, x plus 2 is inside my parentheses. So by the distributive property, I know that I'm going to multiply 4 by everything inside the parentheses. So I'll multiply 4 by x and then 4 by 2. And if I do that, that gives me 4x plus 8. Again, all I did was multiply 4 by x and then 4 by 2. And that gives me 4x plus 8. Let's do another one. On the second example, my pen is your pen. Make sure you have all these examples written down. I'm going to multiply 5 by 6 and then 5 by 2m. 5 times 6 is 30, and then 5 times 2m is going to give me 10m. Let's do another one. If I have 3, and then inside of parentheses I have negative 2t minus 2, I'm going to multiply 3 by negative 2t, which is going to give me negative 6t. And then 3 times negative 2 is going to give me negative 6. So my new problem is negative t minus 6. Let's do one last one. If I have 2 and then 7 minus 3p, I know I have to distribute here. So I'm going to multiply 2 by 7 and then 2 by negative 3p. 2 times 7 is going to give me 14. And then 2 times negative 3p is going to give me negative 6p. So again, distributive property, super important that we understand this concept so we can solve equations. Let's do a real example. All right, so our steps to solving multi-steps equations. Do not copy this down. Absolutely do not copy this down. I'll tell you exactly what I want you to write. All right, our first step is to distribute. So go ahead and write a 1 and then just distribute. Our second is to combine. Go ahead and write a 2 and then combine. And then 3, solve for the variable. You can go ahead and write that entire line. And then 4, check your work. And of course, we know we check our work by plugging the answer back in for the variable. So let's go ahead. Our first step, this will be example 1, 3 times 2m minus 4 equals negative 24. Our first step is to distribute. So I'm going to multiply 3 by 2m, which is going to give me 6m. Oops. Pen's going crazy on me right now. 3 times 2m is going to give me 6m, and then 3 times negative 4 is going to give me negative 12. And of course, the right side of my equation stays the same. So now this becomes a simple equation where all I have to do is isolate my variable and solve for it. So I need to get rid of this 12. So in order to get rid of it, I'm going to add 12 to both sides. My 12s will cancel out, and that's going to leave me with 6m equals negative 24 plus 12 is going to give me negative 12. That's going to leave me with 6m equals negative 12. My pen is your pen. I'm going to solve for m by dividing both sides by 6, and that's going to leave me with m equals, my 6's will cancel out, negative 12 divided by 6 is going to leave me with negative 2. So m equals negative 2. Let's go ahead and check our work by plugging negative 2 back into our original equation. So again, all I do if I want to check my work is to plug negative 2 back in for m. So I have 3 times 2 times negative 2 minus 4 equals negative 24. Now, this problem should look super weird to you guys, and this is going to be where it's really important that we recall our order of operations from 7th grade, PEMDAS, or please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. And I know by the order of operations that I have to take care of everything inside this parentheses first. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to pull my 3 down. 2 times negative 2 is going to leave me with negative 4 minus 4. And all of that still equals negative 24. Go ahead and erase this. I have some more room. All right. My order of operations says I have to keep track of everything inside the parentheses first. So negative 4 minus 4 is going to leave me with 3 times negative 8 equals negative 24. And then 3 times negative 8 is negative 24, and that equals negative 24. So I was correct by saying that m equals negative 2, because both sides equal each other. Let's do another one. All right, example 2. 4 times 2m minus 3 equals 12. Again, my first step is to distribute. 4 times 2m is 8m. 4 times negative 3 is going to give me negative 12. That equals 12. I got to isolate my variable, so I'm going to add 12 to both sides to get rid of it. 12s will cancel out. I'm left with 8m equals 24. I'm going to solve for m by dividing both sides by 8. And that's going to leave me with m equals 24 divided by 8 is 3. So m equals 3. Let's quickly check our work by plugging it back in to see if we were correct. All right, so again, all I'm doing is I'm substituting 3 for m. So 2 times 3 minus 3 equals 12. Order of operations tells me I have to deal with my parentheses first. 2 times 3 is 6. Minus 3 equals 12. And then 6 minus 3 is 3. So I'm left with 4 times 3 equals 12. 4 times 3 is 12. And since both sides equal each other, I was correct in saying that m equals 3. All right, guys, that's going to be it for me today. Again, our key takeaways from today are the distributive property, combining like terms, isolate your variable, and then solve for your variable. Let's go ahead and practice.